There was a time when football looked more like magic than sport. A team in orange played so fluidly where defenders attacked, strikers defended, and spaces were bent to their will. This was total football, and yet they never won. So what really happened to the most revolutionary system the game had ever seen? Where did the Dutch go all wrong? Before it was synonymous with the Netherlands, the total football concept was originated at the unlikeliest of places, Hungary and Austria in the 1930s and 50s. The mighty Magyars, with the presence of none other than Puskás, had already started experimenting with fluid positions and passing in a certain rhythm that broke defense lines. They were very successful in doing that and had won the Olympic medal and were favorites for the 1954 World Cup. But the Dutch took this idea and ran with it, quite literally. In the late 1960s, Rinus Michels, a school teacher turned coach, took charge of Ajax and brought a radical change where positional rigidity was replaced by tactical intelligence. His philosophy was pretty simple yet daring. If a player moves, someone else fills the space. The formation was fluid and the structure was shape-shifting. And in the center of it all was a scrawny, sharp-witted, gifted young man named Johan Cruyff. Cruyff wasn't just a player, he was a conductor on the pitch. He played as a striker but dropped deep into the midfield, drifted wide and often pressed like a madman. You can say he was a false nine striker just like the Hungarian striker Hidegkuti. Cruyff was everywhere and never out of place. He understood spaces just like an architect. He didn't just exploit gaps, but he created them. Under Michels, with the brains of Cruyff, Ajax went on to dominate Dutch and world football, winning 3 European Cups between 1971 to 73. The Ajax DNA became the identity of the Dutch team when Michels took in charge for the 74 World Cup, a Dutch team that toyed with the likes of Brazil and Argentina. The world watched their mesmerizing movement, high pressing and synchronous movement at the World Cup. They were unbeaten in that edition of the World Cup until they faced West Germany in the final. The 1974 World Cup final, the Netherlands versus West Germany. Cruyff's free-spirited, fluid football against Beckenbauer's organized, disciplined football. A clash of philosophies. The game started like a dream for the Dutch, their fluid passing where the Germans were not even able to touch the ball even for once. Cruyff, who was the center force of the Dutch attack, was fouled in the penalty box and Neeskens makes it 1-0 in the opening 2 minutes. But the Dutch became casual. Instead of just killing the game, they were too overconfident. They started playing for style, not survival. They passed for beauty but not for ruthlessness. And this is where the Germans fought back. An equalizer by Paul Breitner and the final touch by Gerd Müller before halftime was enough for West Germany to win the World Cup. The Dutch had more possession, more flair, more movement, but the Germans had the trophy. Total football was considered the most revolutionary style of play admired globally, but it remained forever a runner-up. Cruyff never played another World Cup due to personal reasons, and Netherlands without him did reach the final again, but this time they lost against Mario Kempes' Argentina. And slowly the magic started to fade away. Ironically, when the magic of total football started to fade away in the Netherlands, its ideas traveled all across the world. Arrigo Sacchi's AC Milan took the pressing and spatial awareness of the total football but added defensive rigidity to it. Pep Guardiola, mentored by Johan Cruyff at Barcelona, turned the Dutch ideas into positional play, or in Spanish, juego de posición. Some other notable managers who displayed a bit of total football was Bielsa and Jurgen Klopp. But the Dutch could not evolve. They were stuck with the aesthetic of football but lacked the pragmatism to win any tournament. The game had changed more like it evolved. The rest of the world didn't just copy it but improved on it. So what really happened? Part of the problem was dogmatism. The Dutch became so obsessed with the idea of beautiful football, they often rejected the idea of playing ugly even if they needed to win a a crucial match. In the 2010 World Cup final, they abandoned the Cruyff philosophy and played very rough. They played brutally, physically. We even saw Nigel de Jong kung fu kicking Xabi Alonso. They came close to winning, but it wasn't the Dutch way. And by 2018, they didn't even qualify for the World Cup, though they did qualify in the next edition of the World Cup. But the identity crisis was complete. Were they still playing total football, or was it just total confusion? Total football did not die. It evolved. It left the Netherlands, traveled across borders, gained new culture, and became the DNA of modern football. Today's positional play, inverted wingers, false nine, high pressing, they all trace back to the concept, to the ideas of total football, introduced by the Hungarians. This was the rise of total football for the Dutch. But in football, we all know ideas never die. They just wait for the right players to revive them again. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more such videos, like and comment down your opinion regarding the tactics of total football. Till then, see ya.